Hello and welcome. It is Monday, the 21st of March. I am Flatcap Callum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. All right, coming up today, as advertised yesterday, Sleepy Sunday is also rolling into Sleepy Monday. So we are half stake day, one bet for you today. One bet, half stake, £10 through the Sky Bet account as usual. We'll do a review of yesterday, and then once I've done the bet, for those of you who are more interested and want to stay on, I'll go through the statistics for you for last week and just kind of a bit of a totals of where we're at. What I would say for you, for those of you who are like, well, statistics, they're all a little bit boring. It's so important to track statistics to know whether you are up or down. Because so many people will not have a clue whether or not they're making money. They'll just remember the time they won big and they'll think, yeah, I do really well at betting, but it's only that time you won big. And you know, if you're finding that you are constantly debiting money into your betting account, then you are not doing well. You can check on any betting account. Sometimes it's harder than others to look to see whether you're up or down. Since we started this channel, I chucked 50 quid into the Sky Bet account that we were starting on, and there's no more money gone into that betting account. So I track all of the statistics. I know all the results that go through. But what I do know 100% is, since we started the channel, because we are very healthily in profit, I haven't had to put any more money in. And to be fair, I chucked that 50 quid back out again. So I know anything in that Sky Bet account is anything that is there from the channel. And there are lots of kind of YouTube channels out there that are offering tips to you, but I would just urge you on any caution on anyone who is not offering you the tracking of their statistics. And any given day they can tell you they've had a great day, and they might tell you about all the winners they've had, but did they tell you about the losers, and do they know what their profit and loss is? Because that's the only way you're truly going to understand and whether or not they have a process or a system, or whether they just have a few good days and overall it's bad. So I'm not the only one out there that does it in the way that I believe you should do it, and in terms of transparency. There are some other good channels out there, but there are also a lot of channels out there with people that don't necessarily know what they're doing, and even there is a few dodgy ones out there. But I would like to believe anybody who's watching this channel on a regular basis knows which ones I'm talking about when I'm talking about the slightly dodgy ones. Right, okay, review of yesterday. It was profitable, so I did put a review on yesterday's video. We had 4 horses, one was a non-runner, and I offered an alternative. So just quickly spinning through them, we had, here's the bet. We had yesterday Chichita La Vega, so disappointing. I know it might look weird. I'm going, I've gone for a bet in Autoy, and I've never done that before on the channel. It was a decent enough race. It was a listed race over there. And I do my research. I don't just do it in England and Ireland, Scotland and Wales. I do go further afield. And I felt like that was a sound bet, but I did say it's the first time it's run for a long time, and it clearly showed. So disappointing. We're down at 315. My Mannequin Echo 12 was on the channel, 14 SP. It was fourth, and most bookies did pay fourth, so that was good. We're down at 345. Forza Milan was a non-runner. I put out an alternative, which fell at the second fence, so really frustrating. And then the last race, Carlisle Culane, it was 15-2 on the channel, was backed into 9-2 on SPs. That did surprise me. It went in that much short. So on the channel, it was 9 on, 14.34 back. If you'd done that with SPs, it would have been a little bit less than that. But obviously, we had the benefit on the channel bet of having a non-runner in there, which helped because you're getting additional doubles and singles and things. So if you didn't do that and you had the horse that was a faller, it would have been a loss day. It was one of those days where it really depended on when and how you put the bet on as to what your return was. So the channel bet, I don't like days like that where the channel bet actually came out ahead, but I know most people probably didn't, but I had the benefit of a non-runner, which doesn't really feel like a win. So it was profitable, but not successful, I would say. That was yesterday's bet. So today's bet, I've got one bet and we've got a lucky 31. Second time we've got one of these on. So let me talk you through and explain to you why I'm lucky 31ing, because I will always talk about lucky 15s as the most optimum bet. So it's a £10 bet. I've got 5 races. So I'll run through the races and then I'll explain the bet. So 355 Southwell, 5 places on Sky Bet. Most bookies are 4. If you're not getting 4, don't take the bet. So if you've got a bookmaker that's only paying 3 places on these races, which is standard terms, you can put the bet on, but it's a much higher risk bet. Whereas the majority of main bookmakers are paying 4 on here. Sky Bet are the only one paying 5. So we've got William Cody at 9-2, 4:30. Again, 5 on Sky Bet. Most bookies are 4. Optimistic bias 13-2. We've then got the 450 at Plumpton. There's 8 runners and Sky Bet are still 4. Everyone else will be 3. Military Tactic 13-2. The 510 at Wincanton. Sky are 5. Everybody else is 4 pretty much. If you're not getting 4 again, it's not worth it. I'm not even going to try and say that. Mega Due Speed 7-1. And then the 540 Wincanton. Sky are 4. Most other bookies are 4. That's the only one where Sky are probably in line with the majority of others. The other 4, they've got an extra place on, and that's Owen Verbal, which we've had a few times on this channel. So what we've got there is a 15p each way lucky 31, and then additional 35p each way double on the bottom 2. And the reason for that is not because I particularly think there's more value or I like them more. It's more around if the first 3 don't go so well, we've got a little bit more something to cheer on. And so I'll be really clear when I put these additional doubles on. Sometimes it's because I like the horse. Sometimes it's the value. For today, it's more about, they are the bigger prices by a smidgen, but that's not the reason that the additional double's there. It is really there so that if the first 3 go down, we've still got something to cheer on. And so it's more about psychology, an additional psychology double, because there was a 70p left over when you've done the bet. Now, often I will do lucky 31s and I will steer clear of lucky 15s, and I steer clear of lucky 31s. Today, in all these races, I'm looking for 2 things. I'm looking for, can I find a horse at big value in there that's got a nice price on it that I think's worth putting in the bet. And then the second thing I'm looking for is, where are the more kind of solid priced horses that I think actually they've got a much clearer chance of either winning or placing, but there's not as much value in the price. And today what I found is I couldn't find value, like higher value, in any of those races. So I've gone for ones that I think are more solid. Now this will look terrible if they all get beat, clearly, but I've gone for ones that are more solid. So sometimes you'll see me put bets out on this channel where I might put 3 or 4 like this together and I just do it as trebles and accumulator. They're in that kind of realm, because normally I want to, and the reason I do that is I want to spend more of my money on the higher value. I haven't got any higher value today, so this might be a bet you don't want to take, and it's definitely a better bet for Sky Bet on the basis the top 4 races have got an extra place. I really would like to believe, in the way that I've picked them, that shouldn't be too much of a difference, but clearly that's 4 races with 1 extra place. The odds suggest you might pick up one of those along the way. So in order to make profit, it's very clear you need 4 of these to place or 2 of these to win. That's how you would make profit on this bet at these sorts of prices. So when I do these bets, I calculate through exactly what I need to do to make profit. And for a lucky 31 like this, 4 places and 2 winners. When I do a lucky 15, you need 3 places and or 2 winners. So you need a bit more to go right on this today than lucky 15, but we've got much more kind of lower value but solider horses. So hopefully I've explained what we're doing here today, and yeah, this is the kind of bet that I would normally pick 4 of these at price and put them in trebles and accumulator if I had other big value I wanted to spread the stake on. There isn't that today, so we're doing it as a lucky 31. That's the bet. Hope that explains it. If there are other questions, chuck them in. I had a good question yesterday from Frank about lucky 63s, and I'm not going to go into it now, but I explained in the comment, hopefully yesterday, why I would steer clear of lucky 63s for my type of bet, and that's quite important. I'm not saying it's a bad bet, but for what I do and how I'm looking at horses, you've got a much lower chance of getting a positive return. Over long term, probably be all right, but the winning days would be so few and far between, you might lose a little bit of love for the game if you keep doing it like that. Okay, that's the bet. All right, stats. So we ended up last week, I should have said word on the golf. Not much to say. It was probably our worst golf weekend we've had since the channel started. We didn't really get near on anything in the end. Henny du Plessis, he weren't our man this weekend. So Anyway, we ended the week 130 on, 134.51 back, so a £4.51 profit. So very small profit, 3.47%. That's the fifth week in a row we've made profit of some sort. Two of those were really healthy, over £100 profit weeks, and the other three were like this one, where we made a few quid. So overall, the channel is now running 19.5%. So we were a bit higher than that about a week ago. So 19.5% profit. And that's why I always say to you, judge this channel in the long term. Don't judge me on a day when I have a good day. Don't judge me on a week when I've had a bad week. Judge it over the long term. We made profit in January, profit in February. Currently, March is profitable. But I will expect 100% that we'll have some months that won't be. And the fact that we've got 5 weeks in a row of some level of profit is probably better than my expectation, to be fair. So 19.5% is where we're at for the channel. 21.5 if you just do horses, because of the golf the last few weeks has not been so good, we've dipped behind on golf. So if you just bet the horse bets, 21.5% profit margin. And then other stats from last week, we had 14 win bets and 4 winners. So about 28% win strike rate, which is less than the channel average. And we had 62 each way horses, 22 of them won or placed. And that was just a little bit low the channel average as well. So we were below channel averages in terms of those sorts of things. We did get some decent prices in for each ways and wins. We had a 25 to 1 winner, and we had 33s, 28s, 28s, 25 to 1 places. So we had some decent prices. But what I would say ultimately with the stats, the last 2 weeks have been very, very similar. So with 14 days of the channel in the last 2 weeks, we've made profit on 4, lost on 10. So probably I would expect to make profit maybe on out of 14, maybe 5 would be average. So 4's a little bit behind. But on 2 of those days we made profit, it was really, really decent. And it pretty much covered our week. The other 2 days we made profit was small profit. And then we lost. What I always say to you is you can only lose the stake you put on. You can win a lot more than that. So it felt a bit strange because we've had a couple of days in the last 2 weeks where we've had a really great day, but actually 10 out of 14 we've lost. And so that's why this channel's not for everybody. It's not a quick fix to win. What I'm trying to do is help people who are usually punters who are losing over the long term, try and think about bets in a different way. And whether you take my bets or whether you just listen to some of the stuff I ramble on about and it makes you think differently about how you put your bets on, then I'll take that. I'm not here to say my bets are the best bets. They're my best bets, but they might not be the best bets. And I'd much rather you don't actually take the bet, but you actually think about some of the stuff I say, and whether that's stuff you haven't thought about before, or whether it's stuff that you were like, oh yeah, I didn't realise I do that already, and I do that, and that does make sense. Because I try on this channel not to completely overcomplicate it with statistical equations and stuff, which I do on the side, but I'm trying to keep them away from what I'm doing on the channel. So that's the stats. Last thing to say is golf will be usual on tomorrow's video, and we're building up to a really, really good Saturday. So it's Lincoln Saturday. I love the Lincoln handicap. It's one of my favourite flat races at Doncaster. It's the start of the flat season. Sometimes when people try and look at doing the spring double, the Lincoln and the Grand National, which is 2 weeks afterwards, very, very hard to do. I have managed it a couple of times and been close a few times, but he's equally not got it a few times because trying to put them in the Grand National is very hard. But we've got Lincoln this weekend with a great meeting in Dubai. The following weekend is Scottish Grand National weekend, and the following weekend is Grand National weekend. So the next few Saturdays, there's some really exciting marquee races going on. Okay, that's what I've got for you. Ended up being longer than I expected, so I'm sorry about that if I've taken up 40 minutes of your life. I will see you in the morning. Thanking you very much.